What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to get a better understanding of what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. I'm really excited to be back for Season 2. I've brought a fresh new look to this series and also added in a few new segments that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Just a reminder, I upload a new episode of this series every Monday at 9 AM Mountain Standard Time. Before we begin, I want to clear up any misunderstandings about some of the usernames of players I've covered in previous episodes. Those names weren't the actual usernames of those world record holders, they were just the ghost names from when they set the record. On screen are the more accurate names for the players I've covered in the past. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's get back to the video. For today's episode, we're going to start off the new season fast and take a look at another requested favorite among the audience, Cloudtop Cruise at 200cc. On April 30th, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 32.805 seconds by the player Starks LX. 5 months ago, on February 3rd, 2020, the world record was set at 1 minute 29.153 seconds by the player Noah. That's a 3.6 second improvement between records and a 4% faster time. Before we get into the analysis, let's take a look at each of our racers. Our former world record holder Starks LX has broken 86 time trial records across 12 unique courses and has spent 197 days holding at least one world record. Our current world record holder Noah has broken 5 world records across 2 unique courses and has spent 163 days holding at least one world record. Before we cover the loadouts, let's have a quick look at how Noah's world record came to be. At pre-release, the record was over 10 seconds slower than Noah's. Immediately after release, a few new strats came along and many players were taking the time closer to that 1:30 mark. The fastest time of 2017 was just under 1:31 and it stood for 115 days. In 2018, French player Starks LX single-handedly brought the time down to sub 1:30. 2019 only saw 9 faster times go up with a mere 0.2 of a second separating them. From there, Spanish player Alberto and Noah went back and forth in 2020 to see just how fast this record could get, and that's how we ended up here. From pre-release to today, the world record was broken 88 times by 14 different people. As for the loadouts, Starks LX uses the combo of Morton in the Streetle cart with the roller wheels and the MKTV parafoil. Noah goes with Waluigi riding the Wild Wiggler cart with the roller wheels and the paper glider. We see both players pick heavy characters that yield high top speed and low handling stats. Noah's choice of Waluigi puts him slightly ahead in areas such as acceleration and mini turbo and is a bit lighter than Morton. I'd go out on a limb here and say that Starks LX made the right call choosing the Streetle cart, which is pretty interesting to say the least. He loses a bit of top speed but is right on par in acceleration and mini turbo stats. He even has a higher grip stat. All the Wild Wiggler does for Noah is give him tiny increases in those same areas. Both characters pick the roller wheels, which means we see the same stats rise and fall. Both players now have identical ground top speed, acceleration, and mini turbo with Noah leading slightly on the handling stat. Each glider offers a small bump in acceleration and mini turbo, however the paper glider slightly lowers the weight of Noah's loadout, which will serve him well in the race. But other than that, both loadouts are pretty level in terms of overall performance. Let's have a look at the race. Here's the minimap for this course. There's a nice gap between the first and second sections right before a brief third section. At the start of the race, Starks LX hits a classic rocket start on his way to the first 2 jump boosts. He grabs a few coins and heads straight towards the second bounce pad where he picks up 2 more jump boosts before charging up a super mini turbo before the ramp onto the airship. Noah instead uses his first mushroom right away as he picks up a mini turbo before the first jump boost and one in the air before the bounce pad. He grabs the same 2 coins before taking the same bounce pad shortcut en route to the airship. That mushroom at the start helped Noah get ahead by nearly 1.2 seconds at the end of the cumulus section. Both players take the right path on the airship and grab 2 coins before heading into the cannon, which puts them at the start of the lightning section. They take this section the same in that they stay so close to the left wall, but Starks LX makes up some ground by using his first mushroom, and Noah opted to grab a few extra mini turbos before the fly ramp at the end. Right before the beanstalk section, the gap between these players is now just under 1 second with Noah still in the lead. Fresh off their jump boost from the fly ramp, both players hit the ground and grab a mini turbo before taking the famous leaf cut while grabbing 2 more jump boosts to close out the first lap. Those extra mini turbos and better driving put Noah ahead of Starks LX by just over a second going into lap 2. It's more or less the same thing for both of our racers through the cumulus section. Starks LX stays on that sharp line and grabs both jump boosts at the start while Noah picks up the additional mini turbos before both racers go through the bounce pad shortcut to close out this section. Noah's lead has now stretched to nearly 1.7 seconds before our racers take the airship. Stark's LX stays toward the right side of the airship and grabs the same two mini-turbos before getting launched into the cannon. Noah, however, decides to take the left path and pick up that final coin to put him 10% over his max speed. The lead for Noah has been extended to nearly 1.9 seconds at the start of the lightning section. Stark's LX uses his second mushroom right after he lands and drifts out to collect more speed from the zippers before taking off on the fly ramp at the end. He may not be on that tight line from lap 1, but in 200cc, the racers are going so fast that lines aren't as important as they are in 150cc. Noah really shows us just how optimized this run has become in the lightning section. He too uses his second mushroom but stays close to the inside, grabbing mini turbos and hitting some zippers as well. You might be wondering how he made it past the lightning bolt on the left zipper because at first glance it looks like he went right through it while it was still active. We'll get to that later. After the lightning section, Noah leads Stark's LX by over 2 seconds. Even the super casual Mario Kart players like myself know that whenever you play Cloudtop Cruise, you take the leaf cut. Our two expert level players are no exception. They each grab one mini turbo and 2 jump boosts before closing out lap 2, where Noah now leads by nearly 2.3 seconds. The last lap is pretty much the same as lap 2 for both of our racers. We see the same mini turbo and jump boost arrangement from both of our players, and they even use their last mushroom in roughly the same spot. The only thing I can really tell you at this point is that Noah inches ahead little by little thanks to his better driving and additional boosts, but I'm pretty sure I've said that like 50 times already, so what's the point? I'm sorry, it's just tough to find anything different in lap 3 in some of these courses that's worth taking a look at when the runs are so optimized. Pointless rambling aside, we've reached the end of the race with Noah outperforming Stark's LX by a substantial margin, especially for a 200cc run. It's crazy that this much time was able to be cut when both racers were nearly identical in terms of strategy. Noah finishes the race with an impressive lap 3 and posts a time that is 3.6 seconds faster than the former world record. So by grabbing more boosts from the additional mini turbos and carrying speed more effectively throughout the course, Noah was easily able to soar right to the top of the highest cloud and claim the fastest time those unpaid airship workers have ever seen. Here's a nice surprise. I was able to reach out to Noah himself and ask him a few questions about his world record, and he responded. I'm going to try to include a brief Q&A with the current world record holder in any episode I can. Let's hear what he had to say. What was going through your mind when you broke this world record?
Before this world record, I had 129.190, which I already thought was a crazy run. I thought Alberto's .261 was already pushing the limit. This .153 came after an hour-long session, with a lap 3 much faster than I'd gotten before. I just couldn't believe that I pulled that off.
What new strat do you think is most responsible for you shaving off so much time?
The world record before I played was 129.504 by Alberto, and I introduced 2 new strats to ultimately cut off .35. The first strat I tried out was pretty much copying the coin route that 150cc does, which I introduced the right path on the ship. On top of that, I also tried out the start shroom and doing a mini turbo at the beginning of the lightning section, which was a smaller gain, but a gain nonetheless.
Considering you own all 3 of the best known splits, do you think that the world record can get any faster than the sum of those splits?
The only realistic room for improvement would be in lap 2. My former world record had a slightly better pace than this one, but considering my world record's lap 3, I don't really see it being beaten, though it's possible to improve by maybe a frame realistically.
Now, even though we've just taken a look at the world's fastest time, there is still room for improvement. Throughout the time trial community, some lap splits come up that are the fastest anyone's ever seen, but aren't part of the world record time. These are what's known as the best known splits. Cloudtop Cruise's best known splits are interesting because lap 1 and 2 are grouped together while lap 3 is kept separate. This is because the course has what's called a pace lock. A pace lock is caused by a piece of the track that could cause the run to fail if completed too fast. In this course, it's the left lightning bolt just before the fly ramp on lap 2. You saw that Noah just barely scraped by it without getting stunned. Had he done lap 2 any faster than the fixed pace, he would have hit it and failed the run. Laps 1 and 2 need to balance each other out in order to avoid that lightning bolt, so that's why those laps are counted as one split. Evidently, all of the best known splits are from different runs, with the sum totaling a time that's only 5/100ths faster than the current world record. So while a faster time is possible, it's only by mere frames. Before we cap off the Season 2 premiere, let's take a look at the worldwide top 10 times for this course. We see that Noah and Alberto are in a class of their own with Army slightly behind them. 4th through 10th place are separated by less than 0.2 of a second, and we even see Stark's LX in the mix as well. Noah put together a pretty impressive run, and it may be a while before that time falls. Wow, that took a while, but that's the end of episode 11. I hope you all enjoyed the new segments I included because that's about how the rest of Season 2 is going to go. I wanted to make these videos a little more interesting, so I hope I've done at least that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and share the video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.